Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
On Monday for the Abuja.
There we go. There we go. Good day, viewers. Good day, viewers around the world. We're here on our African, SSM African update. This is Friday, and I'm here with my great partners. Who do we have here? Who are the men here? Generals.
Let the queens, let them announce first.
We are not queens anymore. We are the kings. We are kings. Good afternoon, my brothers in Canada and in Germany. Good afternoon, Nigeria, in Europe. Good afternoon, Nigeria, in Nigeria. Good afternoon, Nigerians all over the world. Good afternoon, citizens of the world. You are welcome to the Authentic Platform, the SSM News Network. You are here for the Authentic.
All right. Well, good morning, all the way from Toronto, Canada. My name is George Chukwu, and I want to welcome all our viewers this morning on our International Friday World Affairs. So we want to welcome you, and we are asking you to collaborate with us, interact with us, because we want to know what you think over our pontification of issues. So we just want to welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Dr. Lufemi. Thank you, Sir George. Gentlemen, let's first of all send our condolences to the Nigerian Labour Congress. Nigerian Labour Congress lost its general secretary, and that's Emmanuel Ogbuaja. Emmanuel Ogbuaja passed on yesterday, 60-year-old man. The record we have is he's been very, very, very hardworking, doing all he can for the Congress. George, did you get that? Did you hear that news? How do you feel?
No, I did not hear that. But our condolences to the family. You know, I'm quite sure that he got children, parents, or whatever. You know, we extend our sincere condolences to them, that the Lord will help them in this time of bereavement, that they'll be able to sustain, and you know, whatever money that is needed. I know that the federal government will actually help them out, because I mean, he's a civil servant. So condolences to the family.
Yes, I want to join my brother as well to say condolences to the family, to the immediate family, to the body, the labor body in general, and to the Nigerians in general, Nigerian population in general, the workforce, for the loss of this gentleman. I pray that the soul rests in peace, and also that God will give them the fortitude to bear the loss. It's a challenge when an individual like that passes on. When an individual like this passes on, it has a ripple effect on so many people, because so many people are hanging on him for survival. But I just pray that they able to bear the loss. The man was a very, very forthright man when it comes to issue of labor matters. May God bless his soul.
May God bless the soul. Like you said, yes, he was very, very dutiful. The news was broke yesterday by Joe Ajauri, the Labour Congress executive leader, and they were having a meeting when it happened. So Yes, our condolence to Emmanuel Ubuaja, 60 years old. He said he passed. They've sent delegates to Enugu, so maybe he's from Enugu State. They've sent delegates to Enugu, to his family in Enugu State. So the viewers, there you go. That's a picture of Emmanuel. Emmanuel, the General Secretary of NLC, Nigerian Labour Congress, passed on yesterday. Our condolences again. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Yeah, so and this is what we do here. We bring every of this kind of news together. He's a Nigerian. He's fighting for the labor, and it's a worthy thing to talk about. So let's go on to other worthy things to talk about. Yesterday, a lot was happening. We're coming first to some sport news. A lot was happening with the Nigerian NFL, Nigerian Football Organization. We saw the NFF president. NFF, yes, Nigerian Football Federation. We saw the president, Ibrahim Musa, resigning, and also his general secretary, and he also ordered all his cabinet, his crew to all resign because Tinubu came hard. Tinubu was saying, what is happening to our sports organization? Dr. Olufemi, you seem to be a sportman. So
yes,
what's that news?
I want to thank the president for the way he's handled this matter. And if you know, the reason why I said in this is that footballers, real footballers, past footballers have been complaining about the way NFF is run. But we have to be very careful in this. And that's why I say I thank the president the way he handled it. You know that the law, FIFA law says that if there's pressure on the NFF or any football body to resign or they are intimidated, then the FIFA will ban that country. So for them to resign, I just hope it will not go beyond that. For them to resign, the FIFA will investigate. But we need to clear that house. Like former footballers have been complaining about that. Ulisse have done that. Kanu has done that. Amokechi has done that. And a couple of them have done that. That the way NFF is not run to profit and to develop Nigerian football, but to profit individuals. And now, if that house is cleared, maybe we get real footballers and lovers of football into that house, and then we need to run it properly. But by and large, because of the level of corruption and all those mismanagement in that, we have never gone to any competition and we never heard about scandal or anything because money will not be paid. Government will release money and they will hold the money. Like Sir George was saying the other day, they will keep the money in the bank to make some money, and they will keep giving out the money in tons, as if the money was not there. And this has been going on for a while, and it's affecting our football. But I hope that this will be a turnaround for better football in Nigeria.
Yes. Yes, I concur with you. The mass resignation is a necessary opportunity to confront the deeper crisis in Nigerian football. We've been crying. How can such a great ego? I mean, people like us, Nigerians are always there. We never last, never go behind. How can such great footballers, talented, they will go anywhere in the world and they will shine? But when it comes down to us, nothing they happen. Not just the change to the people on top. Nigeria has now missed the 2026 Men's World Cup, while the Super Falcons have failed to qualify for the Women's World Cup for the very first time since 1991. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? So more troubling are the financial accountability questions. That's what we really need to pay attention to. Because the people on the bottom, that money that is released on the top, the people on the bottom who are supposed to be taken care of, training supposed to be taking place, and all kinds of infrastructure is supposed to be given to them to make their lives easier and comfortable. That money is not coming down. And do you know that most of the time, what they do is that they will lodge that money in account with high interest rate. They will wait until that money doubles. Then they will pay out the interest and still take the principal at the end. It's so despicable, when we think about some of these things that are happening. So EFCC and ICPC,
Yeah.
investigation have reportedly focused on the utilization of the federal government intervention fund meant to clear players' wages,
Yeah.
bonuses, and other obligations. Reports put the amount about 12 billion, while other reports are citing it about 17 billion. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Somebody,
George, George and Dr. Femi. Dr. Femi uses that phrase, evil servant. It still comes down to this. Also, one of our guests, you said this last time. Round hole in he meant round hole in square
pegs in round hole.
That's right.
That is it, Dr. Femi. Because here in Milan, there are footballers. We have Nigerian international players all over Europe. So one day I had a discussion with a few of them, some notable ones. You might know them too. And I said, listen, gentlemen, because this was during the World Cup. I said, why are we not at the World Cup? Why are we drawing back with our football, our sports? They said, Uncle Mark, it's the leadership in Nigeria. They put people that don't have anything to do with ball, anything to do with sports in those office. So obviously, no, he doesn't understand it. He just comes there.
And
but
their interest is not there.
Yeah, what they said is it's also the. I'm sorry, but this is what they said: the presidency, but maybe not Tinubu's tenure. Maybe previous government. They say it's the presidency that will pick one of his brother or one person and just put there, NFF, and that person now, he doesn't have anything to do with football. So he doesn't understand what it takes to run.
Exactly. It's been going on for a while. And you know that because they have a tenure, if the moment they are put into that office, they have a tenure. You can't remove them. Even if you find them guilty, you can't remove them. The only person that can remove them, except they resign, the only person that can remove them is FIFA. The only person that can remove them is FIFA. So they know that. So they are not accountable to the people. They are only accountable to their masters on top and to their pockets. So they are not accountable to the people or to Nigerian football. So at the end of the day, you'll find that all they do go there is to just make money.
Now, listen to this. This resignation of Ibrahim Gassar and the General Secretary and Executive Committee should not be the end of this matter. It should not be the end of this matter, because it should be the beginning of a full forensic audit to find out exactly what loopholes they have created, because it's a structure that we are trying to protect. You see, the structure is there. This top that are living right now, possibly the people in the middle are the ones that are manipulating, and they already understand what is going on. So there should be a forensic audit to find out where that money has been going, what has been happening, and make sure that those loopholes are closed before the new people are brought in. Because how can
No, Sir George, that's not how it works. Now, the government cannot investigate them, or else FIFA will ban us. The only people that can investigate them is the new management. The management of FIFA is supposed to be independent of government. So if the new management comes in and then investigate, then and invite government into it, that's when it can. But if the government try to investigate them, they will say government interference and they ban. It has happened before. It has happened in Nigeria before, when we were supposed to host the under-17. Now, when they were stealing money, government tried to intervene. What happened? They banned. So what they will do, that's what they normally do. They will call FIFA into it whenever government is trying to investigate them. The only people that can investigate them now is the new management coming there and come and investigate them and find out how they've siphoned. Then they can invite EFCC. It is only FIFA that can.
Added to that, before we go on, let's also acknowledge our man, the warrior, the better Niger warrior. I call him warrior. Yeah, Femi, go ahead. Femi, tell us.
I did hear. How you guys? Sorry, I'm late, guys.
Hi, Femu. How are you?
You're welcome.
I did okay. Lovely to see you.
Yes. So added to what you said, Dr. Femi, you know, they said Westerhoff. You all remember Westerhoff? They said why he succeeded in his time was he closed his ears to all the administrators. They say he was like a madman in their midst, and they were scared of him because they said the day he took his contract, he wrote the contract. He said, now from henceforth, nobody should talk to me. And that helped him. So all these other coaches and international hands we bring, they still fall back to that leadership that doesn't help them get their results.
They go to the West Ham. One of the things that made West Ham successful was that Babangida was interested in football himself. So he had access to the presidency. So he was going. If he had relied on NFF, he would have failed.
Back
so
then
whenever he has a challenge, he goes to the presidency.
Yes.
And that was why he was successful. NFF, it's a star story in Nigerian football.
Because we are talking about the situation of things with our sport, with our football. NFF, the president of that organization has resigned. So is the secretary general, and the president is very interested. The president says he's ordering an overhaul of Nigerian football. I mean, we've had repeated failures, we've had repeated sad situation. Femi, tell us, you're a football man. What's happening there?
Yeah, I follow the Eagles to every World Cup, but unfortunately, these two last times we haven't been there, so I'm really losing out. But the thing is, government involvement in football, I'm not a fan of, and I think, unfortunately, if it infringes with the FIFA rules anyway for government to be involved in football. So that's a bit of a complication. I do understand what Dr. Femi is saying about when government really puts itself into the whole football, it can really work. But we need to move beyond that. The football body should be able to work itself like a private sector run thing, but it's not. And the thing is, it's almost a cesspool of corruption and intrigue. So I was listening to Odegbami. You remember the famous Odegbami? I think he's 70 now. And he was trying to be coach at one time. He was trying to be head of NFF, and they wouldn't even give it to him. And he was saying that there was a situation where, these content creators, you see them all over the place. They had access to the changing rooms and the players within 24 hours of a match. You understand? So instead of them concentrating on the match, they were getting involved with content creators. You understand? So whereas, during the time of Westerhoff, if it was the England team or even, the Brazilian team, all that stuff is closed down. If access to the players is restricted because you want them to be fully focused on the game at hand. And I think that we need to do something about about the Nigerian psyche to let them, we say we're the giant of Africa. I think that giant of Africa thing has really failed us right now. And we need to show it, not just in our economy, not just in all the people that we have that are good in education and all the rest of it, but on the field as well. I think people, when they play, especially in Africa at least, when they're playing the Eagles, they should be waking in their boots thinking, oh my God, these the Super Eagles, or maybe they've lost the game even before they started. But now they're like saying, which Super Eagles? Which one we go beat you? You understand? And so football, again, every country is becoming a strong nation now. You saw what Cape Verde did in the World Cup. We saw what other countries are doing. So there's no minnows anymore. But the main thing is about mentality. It's mentality that wins football games more than anything else. So I don't know what we need to do with the psychiatrists and the players to big up their psychology to say that even if you're losing, look at Argentina. They'll be losing 2-3-0 again the game. In the last minute, they're still in extra, they're going to score. That's the kind of super egos. We saw what Nwankwo Kanu did in the Olympics way back when. We were losing again against Brazil, losing against Argentina. We came back to win. What about the famous time of those young eaglets that they went to Russia?
Yeah.
That is the kind of, I think they need to watch those games to see what being the Eagles mean. That when you wear that shirt, the whole nation is on your back, and you got to deliver. You understand?
There are things that actually, just just depress the morale of players, and especially when they are not well taken care of. And I think this forensic investigation, we kind of have to find a way to do it, because if corruption and diversion is established, those responsible must face the law, okay, regardless of their position. This Tinubu's proposed overhaul must therefore go beyond changing of names. Nigeria needs transparent accounts, independent audit, merit based selection, proper development of young talents, and zero tolerance for this financial malpractice that is taking place. Because think about it, it trickles down. You're not going to get paid. Your needs are not being met. How enthusiastic are you going to be in the football field? So we need to really zero in. It doesn't matter. We got to find a way to circumvent this, law that the World Football League or whatever they call them, whatever their names are. We have to find a way to fix our own internally. Because if we keep on depending on them, then this cycle will come back again to where it was. We need that enthusiastic, so that our players will go out there and know that the whole nation is behind them, not only psychologically, motivationally, everything. So when they go there, they know the people behind them are expecting something big, and they are backing them off financially. We need to really do that.
Thank you.
Because Nigeria is too big and too great to be ending up the way we have been.
Ending up. And now it's rubbing on our female team too. All of it going down. I'm sad. All right, good one. So, Dr. Olufemi, you help us get the update so that we know the investigation, the overhauling, and all of what follows, and how it will bring success. That's a good one. All right, gentlemen, it's Friday, and Friday is international news. But because of pressing issues in our country, we do more of Nigerian. But let's look at what's happening in Nepal. Nepal is going down. I mean, like the whole country is being submerged. Everything is under the mud, like they say. Death toll has risen to about 500, and there are fears of new flood coming, people dying, more people dying, and so many terrible things happening. George, Nepal. Let's talk about Nepal before we go into other local news.
It's really sad, and it's a last minute. They didn't even know what was going on. They're talking about the flood was triggered by a glacier collapse along the Nepal-Tibet border, and it swept villages, roads, bridges, leaving entire communities buried under the mud and debris. Man, this is crazy. There are so many Canadians that were in that country. I think we are almost talking about 100 and something people as of yesterday. The past day told us, yesterday it was 389. Now it's reached 500. And I can guarantee you that while they're still looking for bodies and finding bodies, it might reach up to 1,000. It is so sad. Our deepest condolences to the country as a whole and families that lost their loved ones, and to the people of Nepal during this heartbreaking tragedy. May God help them. Maybe if they live whatever religion they are practicing, God will help them. I don't know. I'm just kidding. May the Lord help them.
I had that, George. I had that. Anyway, terrible situation there in Nepal.
Yes,
so our condolence once again, Jennifer. I know it's same with Dr. Olufemi and Femo. Okay, let's come down now to more of the other news. We heard something interesting. The federal government unveils a $1 billion hope plan. It's called Social Protection Plan to lift vulnerable households out of poverty. This is some of those things that we really want to see and hear. Because at the end of the day, when we talk these big things, big stories, and get signing MOU, but our people are still not eating. Our people are still not having good life. It's somehow. Dr. Femi, are you not happy that we have this plan? Government is unveiling this arrangement. $1 billion.
I am happy, but I'm not surprised because it's something that is it's a government that listens. It's a government that is compassionate. It's a government that wants to do things for people. But in doing this, Now, because if you are not careful, we're going to come back here and we start complaining about this. I've always said it, and this government is always insisting on it. Local government needs to be strengthened. State government needs to do more. The federal government will release the funds, but the money to get to the people, they need the local government. We need to stop talking about federal government all the time. We need to concentrate on the state governors and the state government. I saw a videotape the other day. Some people were peddling that. They were talking about the fact that governments increase the allocation to state to get favors from governors. When they your state get more money, you should now go to your state and ask what the money is for and how they are spending the money, instead of asking for a return of subsidy. So what we should be looking at now, if this money is coming, let's begin to focus on our local government and our state government. How does that get to individuals? Secondly, I said this before, we are a people that have terrible social life. Priorities are wrong. Most of the time, if this money comes in the next 6-7 months, people will be marrying new wives, buying cars, instead of investing and going to farming, and maybe they will be buying B, and before you know it, after a while, a being power. So we need to focus on SME, and that's where the money will go. But to monitor that, we need to go to the grassroots, which is the local government.
You know what?
We need to go to the grassroots. Okay, go ahead, George.
Listen to this. One of the major problems we have is them and us. Them and us. And that them and us should be eradicated through education, through enlightening the people about their constitutional rights. That the local government chairman, it doesn't matter, is still responsible to the people, responsible to those who are releasing these funds. Therefore, the government must find a way whereby if your local government is not functioning right, there should be a private number to call to report these things. Because you know what is happening is this: the local government chairman is the king in his own area. Therefore, nobody should touch them. They come out and it's almost like they are untouchables. Them and us type of situation. But when people understand that every naira that is being released for them to clear the gutter, to make sure that the roads are very well maintained, and that some of the things are well done. And then, if it's not happening, they will cry out to the proper channels, for accountability. That's the only way. But if it's the way it is happening right now, and then you know what happens, they will just take a little bit of stipends, crumbs from under the table, and they will appease the community, and they will shut up, and the rest of the money will go into their pockets, into marrying wives, taking trips abroad with their wives, and they're living a big, large life. I honestly believe the federal government is doing much more than we give them credit for. The problem is on the bottom. And that's when our eyes leave the federal government. Yeah, they're doing much more.
Now, gentlemen, during Buhari's tenure, there was that plan for market women. And what the presidency did, because they knew that, like Dr. Femi said, accountability at the local government level. What the presidency did was to inaugurate a federal committee on that. And it worked well under the Vice President, Osibanjo. So the market women empowerment plan to a point worked well during Buhari's time because they didn't use the local government structure. Yeah, do you understand what I'm saying? So maybe we could apply that to this time, because like we've said, there's no accountability coming from the local government. So we can't be trusting them when it comes to issues like this. So let's just have our own task force from the federal level. What do you say, Femi?
Can anybody remember, Femi, while you're speaking? I want you to please go back a little bit, okay? Backslide a little bit to the few months that Osibanjo, when he was allowed to lead the nation, how the nation was able to breathe. for a little time. I don't know if anybody remember. I was watching. I saw how the nation all of a sudden turned around and was going for, I'm talking about the nation was moving rapidly towards success until that man came back again. I don't know if you guys remember. I did. I missed that man because during that little time that he was allowed to get in,
yes, let's talk about this. George, we
Mm.
understand what you're saying, but we're talking about this fund now and how it can be executed properly. Dr. Femi,
Yeah.
so I'm saying
So-
a federal task force like Osibanjo did.
No, I don't think that was. See, for me, I don't believe that government should be feeding people. I've never believed in that philosophy, and I know it's not going to amount to anything. And we're going to come back in the future and condemn and abuse and say, look what they've done with the money, and someone corrupt took some of the money. But let's look at the numbers. Really, is $1 billion? Is that a massive amount of money, or is it just a drop in the ocean? Because guess what? If you have 20 million people, yeah, on that, they're going to be, each one of them will be having like $20. 20 million people, if you're going to give that money to 20 million people, it's just $20. So what is $20 going to do in the scheme of things? And we've got a population of 200 and so odd million, 250 million, 100 and so odd million people supposedly in the multi-dimensional poverty. So it's just touching barely the it's not even reaching anywhere, to be frank. So that's because government's responsibility is not to put food on the people's table, is not to create palliatives and all these things. It is to fix infrastructure and create the enabling environment for people to strive. And you can't do that if you squander all your money on subsidies, which is squandermania consumption, rather than getting the economy working. You cannot fix the roads and fix the railways and fix organizations, which George was mentioning, if you use all that money for subsidies. You can't do it. So it's when Atiku is telling you that he's going to bring back subsidies, and in a sense, what is he's telling you is he's going to give that money to Dangote, because who's the one that's producing refined petroleum right now? It's only Dangote. So Dangote will be receiving billions and billions of dollars, like he's not rich enough already, because you want to provide cheap petrol for people. It's not going to work. And what they're going to do is they're going to now export that cheap petrol to the neighboring countries. So it's going to be an exercise in futility. This is a good, don't get me wrong. It is good to help people, to try to be seen to be helping people. But what's going to happen, like what during the Buhari's time, like which people are hailing now, people are saying, where are the people? Who are the people that are getting this money? Who are they? Where are they? We can't see them. You call someone in the middle of Abia, you say, I don't know the person. No one is giving us in our village. You're talking, like I said, $20 per person, and that's because that's without admin or anything, or $20 per person. What's that going to do to anybody? It's going to do nothing, really. And then the multitudes of others that didn't receive it, what are they going to be doing? They're going to be screaming a big power, rather than focusing on how they can generate their own wealth. Because no one anywhere in the world relies on government unless you're looking for benefits. And if you're talking about social benefits, again, where is the money to fund that?
Well, listen,
Nigeria can't afford it.
Let me just say this, okay? We need to stop helping Atiku. Atiku is saying this because it's a controversial issue that everybody will be talking about. So his name will go on top. Atiku is not going to do jack with this subsidy. He is not going to bring it back. He's not a fool. The only reason why they brought this up is simply because he wants his name to be there, because you know how controversial the issue is. That's a campaign thing that he's using. So his name will always be discussed. And he's succeeding because we're giving him that attention. We should just leave that man with that subsidy nonsense, because that subsidy, he knows he cannot do that. He will not do it. So he's using it to bring his attention, his name on top.
A campaign strategy, you mean?
That's what it is. When I first started that and I listened to the man, he didn't even know, Ask him to give you data. Give him statistical data how he's going to do that. He cannot even say it. Somebody suggested to me that this is a good idea. Say you're going to bring out subsidy, your name will go on top, and that's exactly we're giving him that. Let's not even discuss him anymore. The only thing that I'm saying regarding this is, what matters is how transparently and measurable results, and whether ordinary Nigerians actually escape poverty at the end of the day. When you're putting, this data about $20 per each person, if you got 20 million people, maybe I don't know how they're going to be able to use it to help people out, or maybe add it to their businesses, the market women, or whatever the case might be. But the point is, it's a good idea for now.
But Femi, I want to put a reboot out to what Femi said. Government to feed its citizens.
Europeans, all over the place.
Europeans give socials to their citizens. In the Middle East, they are giving socials to. They are giving. The Middle East even has it as a monthly thing. Every month, every family goes and gets stipend.
Where the government can afford it, they can squander mania that money. But we can't even afford to pay salaries before this government came in. We can't afford. Hold on, just a minute. We can't afford to build roads. We can't afford to pay our police the right amount of money, to pay our military. And then you say we got enough money to give people free money. We don't have that money. We don't. Not at this time.
Better Niger. We have the money.
We don't.
Okay, no.
Listen, please. When we said we don't have the money to pay to do this, let me tell you something. The federal, you gotta go back again. Don't talk. Let's not talk from the two sides of our mouth, because if the money we have is well managed, it will go down to everybody. We can't afford it simply because evil servants are manipulating.
$40 billion. $40 billion, George, is enough for 250 million people. Really?
You guys listen to this.
That's scandalous.
Most parts of Western Europe, Italy, Spain, and even France are paying their citizens. They are adding some amount, some stipend to the citizen's salary.
The economies of $1 trillion. They have an economy of $1 trillion. $1 trillion.
Have families, have babies, more babies.
My Godwin, countries with $1 trillion economy, with populations less than half of our own, of course they can afford it. And even then they're complaining. In the UK, we're complaining about benefits. But our economy is over $1 trillion, but they're complaining that the government can't afford the benefits they're giving. But we on $40 billion, and you're telling me if you divide 40 billion by 250 million people, is not even up to $10 per person. And you say we can do it? Come on, man.
Take note.
That means you're not going to do any roads. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to give money to the people.
Sorry.
Okay, hold on. You see, NMPCL, when we fix that place, because up until today, they have not been able to give us account to what is happening to our money. When you fix that place, you will see that accountability and responsibility going hand in hand. More money will be available. There are so many loopholes. Our money.
Are you aware that NMPCL is actually remitting money now? When there was subsidies, there was no money to give. And also, people like Elumelu told you the other day that their business, 98% of their money is coming in now, whereas before it wasn't the case. So look, you can imagine that NMPCL is some golden cow that's got so much money. It doesn't. When you compare in Nigeria to Qatar, to Saudi Arabia, and any other country you want to mention, we are like a dot. You understand? So we need to grow our economy to the $1 trillion economy that the president is talking about. Then maybe then we can start saying we've got a bit of money to spare.
Yeah. Can I come in here? We need to. I think we are running before we are walking. Yes, it is good to have a social network. It is good to have a social net for the poor, to feed people and all this stuff. It is good for us to compare ourselves to the Western nation. It is good to compare ourselves to America and to nations that have social network like that, social net that does that. But we need to grow the economy first. Remember, before this government got into power, 27 states were borrowing to pay salaries, simple salary for those who are employed. I'm not talking about those who are asking for stipend to eat. Those who are employed, they were borrowing money to pay their salaries because the economy was collapsed. We are using 97% of our income to pay to service our debt. All of a sudden, these are turning around. We need to stabilize first. But this $1 billion we're talking about, yes, may go more and should go to the very lowest of our society, to those who really needs it. And one of them is the area of the SMEs, which will now employ people at the grassroots so that they can get employed. And that's what we should be focusing on. The idea, we have this terrible idea in Nigeria. Oh, they did not give us food. They build power. You are not working. You want to eat. Even the Bible says it, that if you are not working, you don't eat. People want to get money from God. They see government as a cash cow. Nigeria is rich. Nigeria is not rich.
Yes, we are.
Nigeria has a 250 million population compared to what comes in. Compared to that, we are having children every day. Children upon children, especially in the north. We are having children. People are doing mass wedding. And we are not controlling that. And we are thinking that the money will come until we build an economy that will sustain in Nigeria, or else we go up like that and then come down again. And we don't want to do that. We want to stabilize Nigeria and become the giant of Africa. To do that, we have to squeeze ourselves and focus on developing the economy, developing Nigerian standards, so that we get to a level that even if there is something, we're able to fall and rise again. That is the vision of a better Nigeria.
That sounds very applicable.
I mean, it sounds very applicable, but there are many things that needs to be fixed locally in order to foster that development. Because insecurity is one thing that in the core area where food used to come out from, no longer coming. So there are so many areas where things are just dropping and dropping. It's like a big basket. Nigeria is like a big basket. You pour the money in there, it's not managed well. Is going into so many other areas, and many things are even preventing that money to be poured into that basket. Okay. And one of them is this mess that we're going through now, insecurity. So many ways.
Can I just add that to me, the calling insecurity to me is a red herring, because insecurity is in isolated places and not everywhere. If Nigeria was in the insecurity scenario and problem with food, like you're saying, then there'll be famine in the land. As far as I am aware, there's no famine in Nigeria. So it's not a question of lack of food or lack of production. There's absolutely enough food, but maybe the price is high. But if you're in the local community, in the villages and stuff, food is relatively cheap. So that's not our issue. One thing that I do think we can do with that money is like what President Lula did in Brazil. What he did is he tied that money to sending your children to school. So if you don't send your kids if you send your kids to school, then you can access to vouchers and stuff, which could give you food or whatever, you understand, which you can use it for whatever you want to use it for. I think that would be good, because that will encourage people to send their kids to school. And we know that from education, that will benefit the nation as a whole, you understand? With educated people, they're going to become more productive people. That's the logic of that. And even for the party, as a government, they're like, what's making Lula win in elections now is that all those children that went to school, who more or less wouldn't have gone to school, are now voting for him. So those are other things that people should look at. Is electoral plus. It's just like the nail fund. People don't understand that impact of that nail fund is going to have on the elections. When you've got over 1 million children who are going to university, they're not waiting at home. 4 years is 4 years. And they're also getting 20,000 naira stipend. Trust me, when they go to vote, anybody that's telling them we're going to stop nail fund, they're not going to vote for them. Just watch it.
And their families too. And their families too. 1 million, mother, father, and their brothers and their sisters. That's about 4 times. That's about 4 million people who are benefiting from the nail fund. the other day there was an interview with the Minister for Finance, and a man said getting there that he has never heard about NEL fund before. And he said that the daughter, I have two daughters in university, and they never heard about NEL fund before. The minister told him, your daughter is lying to you. The daughters might be collecting the money, and they've been collecting school fees from them as well. This is the type of corruption we have in our society. Many children are collecting money for student school fees at home, collecting stipend from home. Meanwhile, this money was paid by government, but because the parents don't know about it, I said in the south of Nigeria, because we are too skeptical. So they are collecting money from their parents, school fees and every money, and they are getting it from them. So you see, they are living large, and the parents think they are paying school fees.
Yes, I think that should go out. Thank you for this. I will make this go viral. Parents should know that there's a NEL fund arrangement by the federal government, and it's to assist their children, their wards, with education. But it doesn't mean the parents cannot still give the children, Dr. Femi. But there should be that awareness with the parents and the student. The parents know something is coming, so they now manage that. Gentlemen, let's come down to some more international news. A country is rejecting money, big money. Ghana respectfully declined the MTN $200 million donation they were giving for xenophobia victims. Ghana government says, thank you, but we decline. So is it that let the blood of the evil slayer rest on his head? Is that what they're applying? There's a biblical philosophy like that. Sir George, is that what Ghana is applying? Let the blood of the killer stay on him.
No, yeah, Ghana is maintaining their dignity, their sovereignty and dignity, because that little stipend that is being given by MTN is basically when they saw that Ghana is moving to even stop the South African president's gold mine license. So they started getting afraid, and they wanted to appease them with that $20 million. And Ghana is saying, no, we don't need your money. We are more than able to, take care of our own citizens. So I am so happy that they did that, because if they had accepted that money, that would not change the mindset or the mentality of South Africans. They will continue doing. They're still doing what they've been doing for the longest, and there is no repentance on their part. So I am so happy that Ghana is taking this. I see Ghana is a champion when it comes to this particular South African situation. The way they've handled it from the beginning up until now, they are champions in it, honestly speaking.
Yes, so and truly, South Africans are still doing it. There's a new date now for other foreigners to leave. They've given out September the 20th, and they really mean it. They should get out of their country. So, so anybody appeasing or trying to be friendly with them, it will go nowhere.
Yeah. So Ghana has shown that national dignity and government responsibility still matter. So that's one thing. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, we need to learn from that. We need to learn from it, because you see, we have been weak in dealing with this situation. Unfortunately, I wish that we were the one leading Ghana in this situation, the way they have dealt with South Africa, because we have been so weak. You see, there are still some Nigerians that are there, even up until now. And many of them, maybe by their own decision are deciding to stay because that's what they're used to. But to be very frank with you, I am happy that Ghana is doing this. Honestly.
Thank you very much, George. So let's move on. So that we don't. Let's move on to other stories too. It's Friday. Friday is World Affairs International Day. Tanzania Vice President resigns because he has rift with the president. Tanzania is that beautiful country in Central Africa, and the Vice President says he can't stay any longer. And does anybody have news on that? Anything on that?
I mean, obviously, it's political intrigues within the party, but I just want to put the Nigerian situation into context. When there was the conflict between Obasanjo and Atiku, I didn't see Atiku resigning. He should have done the needful then and resigned. That's why President Obasanjo continually says that what he said about Atiku is not taking it back. So, and I don't see how someone like Atiku could ever win with that kind of stuff. People like I said, the guy in Tanzania, he was on a mandate. He didn't have to resign. He could have stayed there. They couldn't have pushed him out. They could have possibly tried to impeach him, and that would have taken a long process. But he decided to resign himself. Do the honorable thing. You're not getting on with your principal, then resign. Don't stay there because you want to hug power. And that should be a lesson for us in Nigeria.
I want to concur to that. It's instead of pulling the government down and going to a crisis, what that gentleman did was a thing of honor, and to resign. You'll find that very rare in Nigerian politics. People resigning from top office like that, where they rather pull the system down. I remember a governor that fell out with his commissioners and his House of Assembly. Instead of finding that, what he did was to take a bulldozer to the House of Assembly and run it over. So we find situations like that. But instead of pulling the government down, the gentleman resigned. And the thing is that he does not see power being in office as a do or die thing. What he's seeing in that, he's seeing it as a temporary thing. You are excellency today, you'll be an X tomorrow. So it's all start with the X. Yeah. So is EX start both, but one is X, one is excellency. So the thing is when we're talking about this and in Nigerian politics, we need to learn that as part of Nigerian politics. And also when we lose, we should lose gallantly. So when if you lost election, lose gallantly. Let the government be an opposition and be a proper opposition, not run the government down. And what this man did not do was run the government down, because he wants that Tanzania to go forward. He went there because it's a party affair. It was purely a party affair, and he resigned. Instead of pulling the party down, he resigned. So we should learn that and also we have that, like you said, we had that experience before. We have deputy governors and governors that fell out. I said they never had even. I know a governor now that he and his deputy don't talk. They do not say. Ordinary good morning, they don't say.
You forgot Edo State, Obaseki,
and his Obaseki, and look at how he's
taking it on till now.
Yes.
All right,
no, I'm talking as of today. I'm talking today. Yes. There's a governor and his deputy. I don't want to mention name. There's a governor and his deputy that they don't talk. They don't even talk. But at the same party, they don't talk, and they definitely.
But we also had that also during Tinubu's time. Him and his deputy.
But the thing, the woman, he eventually dropped the woman. Dropped the woman. So when we have that kind of situation, we need to respect the sovereignty of the party, and that's what we have in Tanzania.
So Emmanuel, this is an unprecedented type of act from Emmanuel Chimbi, the vice president, and it's a selfless act, and I applaud him for that, because there are so many advantages. I mean, politically and the country's welfare, where, tempo and, morale will now go up, because he selflessly resigns so that the country can move forward. So hopefully he might come back again to run for the president of the country, and he might win because of this act that he just exhibited. So I applaud him highly for that.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's just do a quick, fast one before we go. It's just a news update. Tinubu swears in the new head of civil service of the Federation, and that's Abel Olumuyiwa Etan. Abel Olumuyiwa is the new head of service for the Federation of Nigeria. He takes over Mrs. Didi Wall Esther Wall St. Jack. I think she's from Rivers State. Mrs. Esther resigned because she retired because she's of that age of retirement, 60 years for the federal service. Also, we have this news that the King of Norway is in a very not too good condition. His health is failing, and we're checking that news. They say his health is deteriorating. He's in the hospital. He's being treated for bacterial infection. Gentlemen from London, what's happening to the Duke and the Duchess of Sussex? We hear I'll leave with you guys. Tell us, Femo, you came back. So now permanent resident.
I have said it before. I keep saying it.
Okay.
That girl is bad news. That girl is bad news. And why I said that is this. Listen, if you look at the antecedent of the girl before he married into the royal family, it is not good. I said it. I've said it before. People attack me on this. I said, who? The girl, first, the girl never identified herself as black before she went to the royal family. She wasn't identifying herself as black. But all of a sudden, she married the prince, she became a black. Now, I ask you, and 4 of us here, who is it that a black woman and a black woman is getting married? And the person that will take the girl to the altar is a father-in-law. Does that happen in a black community? The answer is no. 2, the mother-in-law, the girl's mother was at the wedding, sitting all by herself, no relative. No relative, no black relative sitting around near her. Is that normal? No, that's the second one. The people that were invited, the celebrants were invited, who were blacks, were just invited because they were going to royal family. The girl has no relationship with them because she doesn't relate with black people in America before. All of a sudden, she's taking this guy to America. They can't survive that life. They're back here, back to square one. Let's go and buy your popcorn. The movie has just started. Netflix.
Well, I'm not. I knew the girl when she was acting with Suits. I liked her. You know, I didn't know her family background. You know, there are so many dysfunctional families in America and around the world. So if what happened during the wedding with non-attendance of some of the family members and all that kind of stuff, it's not new. It's not new. I mean, it's sometimes you go to America, there are families that they will even kill each other. Even in our own country, Nigeria, you know, we've seen more dysfunctional families in Nigeria because of money than any other country in the world, where a brother will give you money to build his house. You use the money to build your own house and tell your brother, don't worry about it. It's our house anyway. So, you know, I mean, those things are there. But the point is this: hopefully, then coming back to England, my scope, you know, just settle a whole lot of differences between the young man himself and his family because they need it. You know, I mean, he's still a prince. If he's restored to his princehood, you know, we hope that they'll be able to accommodate themselves over there. So that's what I'm going to say because I don't know the in-depth story, you know,
Yes.
about.
Yeah, I want to.
Very good. Well,
I want to. I just want. I mean, I wish the royal family well. We'll see what happens. But I wanted to wish speedy recovery to the King of Norway, like you mentioned, and also to put Nigeria into perspective. Norway, in terms of size of a country, is much smaller than Nigeria, population-wise, minuscule to Nigeria. But guess what? They have the world's biggest sovereign fund, made from what? Their oil wealth, which was started roughly the same time as Nigeria's oil wealth. You understand? And they got theirs from the North Sea. But we squandermaniaed our income by giving away these reckless subsidies, whereas people in Norway decided to invest their money in sovereign wealth fund to rebuild their country. Like when Okonjo-Iweala was telling them, save for a rainy day, but they weren't listening. Squandermania. Give it to the people. The people are hungry and all that nonsense. And that's why the country is in a mess. And it's decades of squandermania. It's decades of, look, you only have to look at the figures of Norway and compare it with Nigeria. Go and check how much oil they export a year compared to Nigeria. Back in the 50s, 70s, 80s and whatever, and you'll say yes. You won't say no, because what I'm saying is Nigeria chose to blow its money whilst countries like Norway chose to reinvest that money, and that's why their sovereign wealth fund is in the trillions right now, the biggest in the world. That's a lesson for Nigeria.
What I like is you're putting in perspective with the Nigerian situation, the Norway story. That's intelligent. That's apt of you. But one thing we should know is this: you see, these European countries with small number of people can really manage this. First of all, you're talking about small number of people that are also that could be coordinated, that could be they follow order, they follow things. They are not scattered like we are, you know, and they are few in number. So things they could progress very well. Our problem is we have it's not to yap anybody, but we have classes of people in Nigeria. You have the people that don't understand anything at all. They can't make up and they can't comprehend anything. They can't be led. It's hard to lead them. So putting that in perspective with us is way.
My Godwin, imagine if we had put the money aside in the escrow account like what Okonjo-Iweala had suggested. Okay. Do you think we would be in our situation we're in now? So all this is an excuse to cover for bad governance.
Okay.
And that's why when I speak misgovernance, of PDP misgovernance, that people were saying, oh, the economy was great, this was that. They were squandering the money. You understand? Whereas if they had built for tomorrow, we might not be in the position today. We must accept that the problems of today came from the failings of the past and also the failings of today as well. But the past has very much, if Norway has not done what it's done, it won't be in the situation it is now.
You see, what
we must accept that fact.
We continue to do is we are blaming, giving money, or bringing a little bit of social welfare, but we are neglecting the bigger picture here. Corruption in our country is so deep. It is so deep. Mismanagement of what we have. If we are able to manage what we have and be able to curtail and close up all these loopholes, we are talking about evil servants. Okay, let me tell you. Let me just say, they just discovered another fake agency, another one, and there might be more. So what are we doing? No, let's stop blaming all these things and then let's go back to the solve our internal problems.
Please, this discovery, this discovery of agency and all this stuff is minute to the challenge that we have.
It's one of them.
Hold on. What I'm saying is this. There are so many, if we are talking about agency, there are so many duplication of offices and duplication of duties in so many civil service jobs. Okay. So if you're talking about that, that is down. But let us now look at the bigger picture that Femi is trying to picture. The thing is this, when we had money, real money, what did we do? Udoji Award. Instead of us to invest in Nigeria, invest in infrastructure, when the windfall for the oil the Kuwait windfall came, what did we do? Buy cars for soldiers. So when we had even before then, when real money came during the military government, what did we do? First stack. So there was opportunities to build like Norway did. We did not do that. When you did not build for the future. When the future comes, don't come and blame the future. That future, which is not the present. That's what we're going to do. We're going to blame now. But because there was bad decisions that were made in the past, terrible decisions were made in the past. And that's what led us to where we are.
True.
Fine. Subsidy is not a bad thing. Subsidy is not a bad thing. But what we are subsidizing is wrong. We are not subsidizing education. We are not subsidizing healthcare. We are not subsidizing the old age living. We are subsidizing petrol. And somebody wants to bring that back. And that person wants to bring that back into Nigerian system.
Because petrol, like we always say here, is the basic of Nigerians. I mean, it's an everyday thing. Nigeria is a crude production country. Nigeria uses petrol in everything. Somebody said everything now runs on petrol. Everybody's using generator. Everybody's using all of those things that petrol runs.
My Godwin, if they had used all those billions spent on this subsidy in providing 24 hours electricity, would we not be in a better position? So all this story about petrol is the elixir of the people and the man and all that, that's fake nonsense. If you put the money in the right sectors properly, we wouldn't be complaining right now. You would have 24 hours electricity.
That's true. All right, gentlemen, it's been beautiful. This past week has been awesome. I mean, every of those days we have good people listening. We go viral, and I bet you guys, I think the federal government is listening, because some of these things they are doing lately comes from the discussions you guys put out here, you know. And I mean,
yeah, we have a listening president. That's why.
Yes, that's true. So let's take it that we're making impact in our country. The Better Nigeria concept,
and that's why we are giving him the second term.
Yes. Okay.
Matt Godwin, you don't believe that. Matt Godwin, you don't believe that.
No.
Matt Godwin, who's going to win the election? Who is going to win the election? Have you got a prediction for us?
No, not now. We'll get our predictions soon.
You must earn your money. You must earn your money.
There is no money. There's no money to be earned anywhere. It's patriotism. Patriotism.
You guys are doing great. I tell you. If nobody's saying it,
it's patriotism.
And hopefully we'll continue. It's going to be beautiful this 6 months of campaign, but we hope we're not going to wear the boxing gloves. It will be with our mouth, intelligent speaking, nice analyzing, and all of that. George, let's go. What do you say last before we go, Sir George?
Well, I will continue to pray for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his wife, First Lady, and all the governors, all the way down to the local government chairman, that God will continue to grant them wisdom to operate, wisdom to act, wisdom to stay away from evil, and corruption to be eradicated from our country, that the light will shine upon the common man, and all of us can look forward to that paradise where God has already designed Nigeria to be. Diversity is our strength. Thank you.
Agreed.
God bless. Agreed.
My closing statement, I want to pray for the opposition, for them to bring a substantive alternative, because as it stands now, they're only talking about Tinubu's certificate and all this kind of nonsense. We want to know what they're going to do substantially to make life different and better for Nigerians. And no empty promises, serious discussion. That's what we want to hear from the likes of Atiku and Peter Obi and all the rest of them.
Yeah, and also, in order to add to that, while instead of focusing on campaign issues and less of insults, tribalism, and also, let's put it as a side. The religion or the tribe of an individual does not make him a good person. What makes it what can the person provide? This is not about religion. This is not about tribe or anything. This is about a better Nigeria, and that's what we have. For me, peace out.
Wow, look, hear this powerful talk there. Thank you, gentlemen. So Monday we'll be here between the lines. It's been beautiful 1 week, hearing all you've all said, opinions and analyzing good viewpoints. So viewers, this is it. We'll see some of the clips will be coming on our handles, short clips of what has happened, and hope to see you as we continue next week. God bless you all. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Peace.